This is PhD&D here on YouTube, Dr. D&D, whatever you want to call me. I'm here today with a video response for The Outsiders 68 and his phenomenal question as to whether DMing is a skill or a talent. Well done, sir. Well done. Great topic. Very loaded topic, by the way. I'm going to try and keep this fairly short because I could go on for days with this one. Now, I'm under the assumption that you mean by talent, something you're born with. You have a talent in a certain area, and a skill, something you can work towards. You can build up a skill in your life to some extent. Apologies for the bright light behind me. You saw that. So I'm making this video without watching any of the other response videos, which I've seen. There's a couple already, but I didn't want to be influenced. I want to present my point, and then I'll go through and kind of watch and see what points everyone else makes. So, is it a talent or is it a skill? I believe, and I will end this with a clear-cut answer because I don't like to be the guy to say, well, like this and this. I'm going to present all those sides, but then I'm going to pick at the end and tell you what I think. I think that DMing is, since it's comprised of so many different aspects, are you a good storyteller? Are you confident? There's so many things that go into it that I believe, what if you break it down to those? Do you have a talent for storytelling? Or is it something you've had to work at and really try to build that up? So much goes into DMing that it's hard to say, you're just born good at it. Now, on the flip side, I've played in games where someone was not experienced at DMing, and first, second, or third time, that they were DMing, I was in a game and they were phenomenal. Like, that you could just tell, this person was born with a knack for this. They just were. So it goes both ways. With that point, I believe it's hard to say you can be born with something comprised of so many other elements, but at the same time, I've seen it, and everything just flows. So, is it a talent or is it a skill? It, to me, can be both. You can be talented, you can be born with it, and you can work at it to make it better, to become a lot better at it. But if I had to pick overall, I would say that DMing is most definitely a skill. If I had to choose. Remember I said I would present one side or the other here. So if I had to choose, I would say it's a skill because you are able to work at it. You are able to get better. Looking at my first games, and I'm by no means, an amazing DM right now, but I've improved, tenfold compared to the first couple sessions I ever ran. And that's because I worked at it. It's because I watched videos on the internet, read blogs, read articles, and worked at it. Practiced a lot of the techniques presented, from many of you, actually, in the YouTube community. So I think it's perfectly fine to say it's a skill that you can improve on. Some people, like I said, were born with it. They have a knack for it. They are talented DMs, and they just will be. But I believe that is because of all the elements that comprise DMing. They're talented in all those areas, and it was able to transfer over into DMing in some manner. Now, it's a very select few who it just works out like that, because you can have very confident people. You can have very good storytellers that are very bad DMs. So I'm not saying just because you're good at all those, it can transfer over. So I would definitely say you can have it. You can be born with a talent for DMing. It's possible. But DMing, in my mind, is more of a skill to be worked at. Even people who are talented need to work at it. You're not going to be born the best at something. if you don't work at it at all. So, I'll wrap this up now. DMing, like I said, I've said it 3 or 4 times in this video. I apologize. You can have a talent for it, but overall it's a skill that needs to be worked at, needs to be honed. And yeah, great discussion. That was awesome. I went to work this morning. After watching your video, I didn't have time to respond to it right away, and that's all I could think about at work. That was just like, how am I going to respond to this? How's this going to work? So, fantastic. Glad I could hopefully put in a little response. Now I'm going to post this and now go see what everybody else had to say about it now that I've presented my opinion that was not affected by anyone else. Thanks for watching.